Hi, it's Sanne Otilia Philipson. I have the webpage called intuitivmentor.dk because I am an intuitive mentor. I help you find your life purpose, and at the same time I set you free of all your inner self-sabotage so that you are free to fulfill how to say that in English, so that you're free to follow your passions and your dreams and can become successful with what you do and who you are. I'm born intuitively. No, is that the word? I'm born as a psychic. I have the ability to see right through your body, as I have X-ray. I can see and hear and feel your previous lives because everything has a frequency. Look, that's just pen from my notes because I'm left-handed. Everything is energy. Everything has a frequency. Everything is at a certain vibration. Frequency and vibration is the same. It can be low, like lots of low self-esteem and anger and self-hate and doubting. And a high vibration and frequency is being positive, being open-minded, being happy about who you are and what you do. This video is the intuitive forecast for February 2014. And in order to tell you what's going on here in February, I need to tell you a little bit about 2013, because in 2013, many of us talked about things. We wanted other people more than we wanted ourselves. We were very focused upon others. In 2013 we were all very mental, and I hope you understand my English, and please bear with me. Many of us were very mental in 2013, and we did what we have taught to do. We did what we were supposed to do. What I realized this spring of 2013 was that I wanted other people more than I wanted myself. So I help people rise and rise and rise as a person. I do that as well all the time, but I have forgot to make my business grow as well. I realized that it's kind of like when you wash your windows. Afterwards, you can see clearer. So in about October, I integrated the feeling called I'm worthy. The feeling of being very valuable. It's not easy for me to say in English, and I'm sorry. But when I realized that I was not this much worth, but this much, and what I do, because I can permanently remove 3 to 5 self-sabotage patterns in you in one session, just 1.5 hours. And I have the ability to set you free at all levels, become karma free from your previous lives, so that you have a new beginning and can follow your life purpose. But when I cleared my windows and raised my inner value thermometer, I can't say that again. Thermometer. When I raised that inner bar, I was kind of like, whoa, that's not good for me. That's what came out of it, washing my windows. Ooh, she's not good for me. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Ooh, I don't like that. So by raising my inner bar, I set a higher standard for myself. I realized that many of my friendships I had where I was the giver and not the receiver. I was giving more than I got out of these friendships. And the friendships from that I realized this with are gone. And it was kind of like, what a huge relief. In about October, November, December, I channeled that we have to stop doing what our parents did. We have to stop putting aside and say, I'm gonna do this later, I'm gonna do this, and just put it aside, and not dealing with our inner emotions, but just pushing them down there to our stomach. We cannot do that anymore. We each one of us have, with our own free will, chosen to come back to Mother Earth and incarnate. We have not been forced back here. No, we have chosen it, each one of us. Many of us regrets coming here when we are in our mom's room. But that is our soul, that is not our higher spirit. And when I was in my mom's belly, my dad hit my mom. So I was kind of like, ugh, I know I'm gonna have to come back because I want to, because that's a part of my life purpose. But I don't want to do it. But again, that was my soul. But why am I telling you all this? It is because many of us were in 2013 driven by fear. We were talking and talking and talking. We were not doing. We wanted others more than that we wanted ourselves. We just put things aside and said, I'm going to do that later and I'll get back to it. But we have to stop, each one of us, doing that. We have to stop being our inner worst enemy. I have this club called No More Self-Sabotage. For only 50 Danish crowns, that is about 9 American dollars, for about 5 Great Britain pound, my membership group receives an email every day from Monday to Friday in 30 days period. And a member this morning wrote to me, from today and forward, Sanne, I will accept that what has been in my life and what has driven me the last couple of weeks is fear. Because in January here, 2014, we were all supposed to and meant to let go of the fear that we were driven by in 2013. So the month of January is always a month where we are cleaning, letting go of all the old shit. But we do it from in here at a cell level. And when we're here in February, we are cleansing at a mental level. So we always do this, even though it's 2010 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14, we let go first at the low level, at the cell level, and then at the higher level. So that's what we do here in February. So where's my notes? So you and I have, with January, taking off the old glasses of fear. We have been lifted up, taking a step up as a human in accordingly to our personal development and spiritual development. We have agreed that with 2014, we're going to become more aware as a person. So we have taken the glasses of fear, filled with fear, off, and that means we're becoming even sharper. I'm sorry, but we're seeing even more clearly now, in both good ways and in bad ways. In these days here, the last week, it's the 6th of February right now, lots of DS frames has passed through my inner view. Okay, this happened. Interesting. I wanted this person more than me. I let go. So constantly, it's kind of like cars going right past me with situations that has happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Because we let go. The way we have been thinking and living up until now has to change, has to shift. We have to let go of it. The next line that I have been writing here is, we need to find a new inner balance. Because when you and I have taken the fear and tossed it out of the window, there is a hole within us. And we're like, ooh, should I stand on this feet, the right leg? Should I stand on the left leg? Should I be fearful, or should I be a little bit too much the fighter. So should I flee or should I fight? No. In February and in general with 2014, everything is going to go much faster. It's kind of like the gear has been taken. In Danish, I would say, I can't say it in Danish because, yeah, our inner gear and the life gear has taken a higher gear up. Everything will go so much faster. Where 2013 was a year filled with development and realizations and filled with... It was a year where each one of us was supposed to become more aware. And is that bad? Is the cup half full or is it full? Someone said to me today, Sanne, 2013 was horrible. And I said no. We woke up in 13. We saw so many things and ourselves in a new light. And we become more free so that when life gets up to speed here in 2014, it will become so much more easy to be you and me. And she was kind of like, yeah, I get it, Sanne. So the life speeds up the process. It goes a bit faster here in 2014. So it is so important that we stay grounded, that we connect ourselves to Mother Earth. And what are you saying, Sanne? What is that about? But it's about connecting with Mother Earth. It is about opening our pelvis and becoming more aware of our inner chakras, which is inner wheels. We have different places in our body. Being grounded is about doing yoga, training that keeps us up until the old way of living is the masculine mental way of living and thinking and fearing and fighting and fleeing, where in the new time energy we need to have everything integrated into our body. Many people know things, but they don't know how to do them because they're not in contact with themselves and they're not in their body. So why are people mental, living from here and above? Because if you have to live from your heart, you need to go past and through the sorrow, the sadness, the low self-esteem, the feeling of loneliness. It's kind of like an onion that you peel off in order to get into the middle of a watermelon. You have to go through all the layers, and when you get into the inner core, it's warm, it's gentle, it's soft, it's caring. And what this is your heart. So it's about you and me peeling off the fear, the insecurity, the loneliness there, and landing in our own inner core, fully integrating who we are. In February, I have the next line here. We're being capable of seeing more clearly because we have taken the fear off. We have broadened. Is that the word? Broaden our vision. I've written down here that my hand has smushed it, so I can't read. Relief. Yeah. February is about staying focused. And we cannot stay focused if we're not grounded. It's kind of like the wind. If there's a wind blowing, and if the mailbox is not grounded into Mother Earth, the mailbox will just be thrown away. If you and I do not have any grounding, or have we not set any goals, we're kind of like a little boat on the big ocean, just being thrown away by the big waves. But if we have grounding, if we have set goals, we are a boat on the big ocean, but we still have oars and an engine so that we choose where to go. In 2005, I ended up in a wheelchair. Up until that day that I ended up in a wheelchair, and up until Before I ended up in a wheelchair, I had just realized that for 28 years, I had been searching for my dad's approval, and he had been gone for 19 years. I realized that everything that I did was in order to please other people, to seek their approval, but I was at a subconscious level searching for my dad's approval. I had an eating disorder, I had arthritis, I have had almost been killed. Now, I have been into several near-death experiences. I have, when I was in the Gladiators as a participant in 2003, I fell 3 meters to the bare ground, and I had almost my arm ripped off. I had it crushed. I had a thing taken out, a bone. I broke it 3 times here. That was just in 2003 because I was way too mental. I was not being the female that I chose to incarnate as. I hated my vulnerability. I hated being so sensitive, and I am extremely sensitive. But what is my biggest strength and asset today is my vulnerability and my sensitivity, because I help it when I use you, when I do sessions, and because I now dare to share all what was all my secrets. They today have become my biggest strength, and I dare to share them with people. When I realized all this there in 2005, a part of me had realized and understood and were at that time in the 4th dimension. Read about dimensions at my webpage, intuitivmentor.dk, under sessions. There's a little one called dimensions, and there you can see the different dimensions. I had just moved from the 3rd dimension, which was all about surviving, and I moved myself up to the 4th dimension, and I realized, oh, this is my life story. This is what I have been doing. And I was stuck. I didn't know what to do from that. And then I ended up in a wheelchair. And I was like, when I was in the air, a tractor hit me down on my motorcycle that I was going to go down and sell. I had just quit my job in the army. I had just quit boxing. I had said goodbye to my family. And I knew I had to do something different. So I signed up for body therapy education. But something within me was still stuck in the 3rd dimension, which is all about ego and material. No, the 2nd dimension is about ego and materialism, and the 3rd dimension is where you want to make a difference in the world, and 4th dimension is where you're kind of like, ooh, I get it, I accept, I want to move forward, and what's next to happen. But read about that on my webpage. But I ended up in a wheelchair, and when I was up there in the air, and I didn't expect the light to be turned on again, I was like, oh, I get it. I get it now. And because I said that in that moment, because everything just passed through my inner view, my eyes opened again. And I did not expect them to. When we die, we go up to a scale up in the universe, and the universe asks us, did you learn anything from that? And if you said no, you're going to go down again. But you're not going to go and be among other people. You're going to be behind a visible veil. But when I was in the air, tumbling around, before landing again, I was like, I get it. Sanne, you stupid fart. And when I woke up, I was still stuck between the tractor wheel and the engine, and the guy who was just 16 years old, he was sitting up there and he was driving, and I got it. I know that I was going to become a person who, I knew that I have been given a second chance. I knew that I had to change the way of living and feeling, and I knew in order to receive and have a great life, I had to change the way that I looked at the world. So everything that I have taught I have taught myself and experienced since that is today my life purpose. My arthritis is gone, my allergies are gone, my low self-esteem, my fear of life, my resistance against life, my post-traumatic stress is gone, my abusement from an abandonment, and all the stuff from my childhood is gone. I have removed it with my own regression therapy technique that I have developed. And I am here on Mother Earth to show you that you're perfect just the way you are. You have not incarnated here on Mother Earth to become perfect, to be in a certain way, or to act or look in a certain way. You're set here on on Mother Earth to be who you are in your heart. You're set here on Mother Earth to share your stories and teachings from life to others. You are here on Mother Earth to set yourself free, and not to identify you with yourself, with what you've been through, or where you have been, or what you do. I, Sanne, am not an ex-soldier. I'm not an ex... I'm no longer a self-saboteur. I'm no longer the world champion in self-sabotage. I am today me. And what I love is being me, and I love doing my life purpose. So I am here to show you the shortcut to inner balance. And I can teach you that in my little group. It's in Danish, but I'll make one in English soon. I have this group called No More Self-Sabotage, which is the morning meals for just 50 Great Britain pound, or for $9 American, or 50 Danish crowns per month. And I have my club called Free of Self-Sabotage. And that will soon be a product in English where I teach you everything that I know. Every day I can do this and read the planets. I can read the weather. I can read the intuitively energetic forecasts. I can do these every day. Whenever something is happening or going on, I can just pick it up. So that is what I do today. And why do I tell you this? So because you can say that in 2005, I was this far away from myself. I was living mentally, and I had to go all the way in. I had to deal with my fear. I had to accept. You can see, have a look at my webpage, intuitivmentor.dk, under sessions, because I've made a framework that describes my process and what we're all going through. Each one of us needs to get into our body and be who we are in our heart. Stop identifying ourselves with what we did, or what we do, or where we have been. I used to be a boxer, boxing with a national team, but that's not me today. I used to drive a motorcycle, but we need to stop going in circles and stop telling the same old story again and again. We need to stop feeling pity for ourselves and move forward. 2014 is the year where each one of us takes our life to the next step and become more aware of ourselves as a complete person, where we accept that I am both light and dark, that we accept that we are both good and bad. But you are not your fear. You are not your self-saboteur. You are not a person filled with flaws. No, you're just a human. We have all incarnated here on Mother Earth to develop as a human being and a spiritual being. And how we do that is by making mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. We're not here because we're supposed to be perfect, because we wouldn't have incarnated here. Mother Earth is the hardest place to incarnate because we have this physical body and emotions and fears and stuff like that. But when we know how to master these, and when you and I become aware of and get to know that we are not our fear, we are not the anger, we are not the self-saboteur, we are not lonely, that we are a part of something bigger, everything changes. But it all has to do with acceptance of who we are and where we have been, and acceptance of that there is something bigger around us. I'm gonna say again what February is about. We just let go of fear in January. And that fear is kind of like the cigarettes we have put aside. And now the universe will give you these cigarettes. They will test you on your fear and say, are you ready to let go of your fear? Are you ready to say goodbye to these cigarettes? So be aware that with February, both you and I are being tested on our old beliefs, because we are in February cleansing all the mental beliefs that we have been clinging to for many, many, many years. Gone is the fear, but now it's the mental beliefs we need to let go of. The old way of thinking and living and just being who we are in our hearts. The next thing I wrote down is we're finding a new inner balance. So we might feel a little bit vulnerable and insecurity. We're seeing more clearly in both good and bad ways, because when we see things, and when I say in bad ways, it's kind of like if you've always had this friend and you've loved them or looked up to them, and suddenly without your fear glasses on, you see everything more clearly, and it hurts to now realize that he or she or it does not serve me anymore. So that's what I mean when I say we see clearly in both good and bad ways. But whatever happens, happens for your best, for the higher good, for you. The friendship I had in 2013 and have had for 3.5 years, I wanted this relationship more than she wanted our relationship, and more than she wanted me. I gave more than I received. So now that when that friendship is gone, I have so much more, not time and energy, but again I have to be there for myself. You and I deserve the best. And what you deserve and what you need to start giving it to yourself. And that's why I have attracted afterwards, since this breakup in the spring, I have noticed that October, November, December, I have attracted new perfect friendships where we both give to each other. The next line here was seeing things in relief. How do you say that in relief in English? What has happened in 2013, 12, 2010? What has happened even in our childhood or when we were teenagers? It passes through us right now. Kind of like cars going past us, because we need to see, oh, that happened, okay, that's okay. Oh, and that happened, and oh, and that's why that happened. But just accept it. Stop putting your finger into the bee farm, the bees. Stop putting your finger in there. Just say to ourselves, okay, I see it, I accept it, I forgive, and let go. What I wrote is also stay focused. Set goals, be grounded. So that whatever happens to you, you're still standing strong within yourself. What has helped me is to train and exercise my inner core, my lower back. I was in a wheelchair. I have almost been taking care of myself for the 37 years that I have been living. So my belief within myself was this big. So when my inner journey began, I had to rebuild myself. And what has really helped me is to exercise my core, my inner muscles around my spine, in my lower back, and really straightening myself. So February is about accepting and let go. Just I accept, I let go, I forgive. Maybe say it again and again. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. It's also about realizing that everything wasn't meant to be. What is meant to be is what does but what is meant to be is what does you good. And what doesn't do you good, the universe will take it away from us, whether we like it or not. And that's not what I am saying, that's a part of the universal laws. And what the whole purpose of being here on Mother Earth is that we are supposed to become a person feeling and thinking and living from our heart, rather than living and feeling and thinking from our head and up. If you like, you can ask me something in a video, ask me something, send me an email, and I'll ask, and I will channel intuitively the answer in English and post it here on YouTube. I'm Sanne Otilia Philipson. I help you find your life purpose, and at the same time, I help you get free and rid of all your inner self-sabotage and mental beliefs, so that you are free to follow your life purpose and fully develop your true life potential and be who you are in your heart. Thank you so much for listening. And if I can say just one more thing, when you and I need to find ourselves in a new way without the fear, we might feel a little bit insecure, we might feel a little bit vulnerable, but that's normal. And we're also feeling a bit tired, and also a bit overwhelmed. Is that the word? Yeah, overwhelmed. Because we're realizing, we're dealing with, we are letting go, we are accepting. So it's kind of like, so for your own sake, don't launch too many ships in February. Slow down and rebuild yourself slowly. Being grateful for what you have is necessary for you to, in order for you to receive more. So being grateful about who you are and where you have been and what you've been taught, and most of all, being grateful for what you have, that is the best gift you can give your life and yourself. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sanne Otilia Philipson. Maybe I'll see you on Facebook. Bye.